The city lights blur beneath my 32nd floor apartment window, a restless dance of color and shadow. Chicago hums below, alive, indifferent. I sit at my glass desk, fingers tapping a steady rhythm against the sleek surface, a counterpoint to the chaos outside. The sound weaves into the distant growl of late-night traffic, the soft ticking of grandmother's antique clock, a relic from a kinder past. My laptop glows, blue light spilling across the stark white walls, casting jagged shadows that stretch like fingers reaching for something lost. Spreadsheets fill the screen, rows of financial projections swimming before my eyes, numbers that accuse, that demand, that never rest. Faye Dawson, 34, financial analyst, family lifeline. That's me. 7 years of this, late nights, cold coffee, silent sacrifices. A half-empty cup sits forgotten beside my laptop, its bitterness a memory from hours ago when I dove into these figures. The desk is a battlefield of order. Files aligned with military precision, sticky notes ranked by priority, red for urgent, yellow for pending, blue for done. In the corner, a family photo lies face down, its smiles too heavy to bear tonight. I can't look at them, not now. The clock ticks past 11:50 p.m., March 22nd, 2025. My pulse quickens, though I don't know why. 7 years of carrying them. Mortgage payments funneled through shadows, emergency funds slipped into their accounts, all while they sneered. Henry, Linda, Ryan, the Dawson trio, blissfully ignorant of who really holds their world together. My spine aches, my eyes burn, but I can't stop. Not when there's still work to be done, still problems to solve, still a family to prop up like a house of cards in a storm. My phone vibrates, a sharp jolt against the glass. The screen lights up. Henry Dawson, father. Midnight, calls from him are rare and never good. My finger hovers over the answer button, stomach knotting with that old, familiar dread. I press it, force my voice steady, professional. Hello. Do you have any idea what you've done? His voice slices through the line, sharp as broken glass, venom dripping from every syllable. You're nothing but a failure, Faye. You'll never amount to anything. The words land like blows, each one a fist against my ribs. My pulse pounds in my ears, drowning out the clock, the traffic, the world. 7 years of support, hundreds of thousands wired in secret, and this is what I get. Knuckles whiten as I grip the desk's edge, anchoring myself against the storm of his rage. The call lingers, a ghost in the silence. My spine stiffens, rigid as the steel beams holding this building aloft. Henry's words echo, failure, nothing, never, and something inside me trembles, a fault line cracking open. The blue glow of my laptop deepens the shadows, painting my hands in cold light as they move, almost on their own, to a hidden folder. A&D Holdings, LLC. I click, and the truth spills out. Documents, pristine and damning, a secret I've guarded for years. Mortgage payments, everyone rerouted to me. Their house, their sanctuary, mine in all but name. Flashback, late nights with James Carter, 38, my financial advisor, his voice calm as we built this fortress in the dark. It's airtight, Faye, he'd said, papers rustling under dim office lights. They'll never know unless you want them to. Accounts established, paperwork filed, all under their noses. A fool I'd been, thinking it was protection, not power. My breath catches as the numbers align. 7 years of careful maneuvering, of swallowing their barbs while I paid their debts. Henry's voice cuts through again, a memory from the call. You call hiding in your fancy apartment, playing with your spreadsheets, doing everything? Mockery, thick and cruel. My free hand curls into a fist, nails biting skin. Ryan smirks at family dinners, Linda's weak excuses. They flash behind my eyes, a reel of calculated degradation. The tremor grows, anger bubbling beneath the exhaustion. 7 years of their venom. Not smart enough, not generous enough, not enough, and I've borne it all. But now something shifts. Seismic, unstoppable. An earthquake builds in my chest, rattling the cage I've locked myself in. I look at the screen, at the power I've held all along, hidden in plain sight. Their next payment, $7,500, due in 5 days. A payment they don't know goes to me. You're right, I say aloud, though the line's dead, and for the first time, ice creeps into my voice, sharp and deliberate. I'm not there, and maybe that's exactly the problem we need to solve. My hand hovers over the laptop, then snaps it shut with a decisive click. The sound echoes, final, a gunshot in the stillness. The city lights stretch long shadows across the floor, and my heart pounds, fierce and steady. Their ignorance has a timer now, ticking down. I reach for my phone, James's number glowing in the dark. It's time to set things in motion. The laptop's click still echoes in my ears as I sit in the darkness, the city lights casting long, restless shadows across my apartment floor. Chicago breathes beyond the glass, a pulse of artificial stars. But here, time slows. My hands, steady now, reach for the keyboard again. The blue glow returns, harsh against my eyes, illuminating encrypted folders. Family Mortgage, A&D Holdings, LLC. I dive in, deeper than before, fingers flying across keys with a purpose that feels like vengeance. The numbers align, stark and unforgiving. $7,500, due in 5 days. Their Dawson family bank balance a pitiful $3,200. They don't have it. They never did. Another folder opens. Personal notes. I've kept like wounds. June 15th. Emergency roof repair, $12,000. September 3rd. Property tax bailout, $8,500. December 25th. A gift to cover Ryan's latest failed venture, $15,000. Each entry stings, a fresh cut reopening. Beside them, Henry's barbs in jagged ink. Inadequate as usual, Faye, after a $20,000 savings boost. If you were smarter with money, you'd give more, following a tax payment. 7 years of this, their contempt etched into every dollar I bled for them. Ryan's emails smirk through the screen. Big sister's good for something, at least. His tone dripping with that superiority he wore like a crown. Linda's silence, her weak protests, fill the gaps. My coffee sits cold, untouched, its bitterness a faint memory as I cross-reference dates, amounts, account numbers. Everything lines up, a perfect web James and I spun in secret. Their mortgage payments, funneled to Midwest Mortgage, or so they thought, flowed straight to A&D Holdings LLC, my company. The evidence is irrefutable, a testament to their ignorance and my patience. A soft ping breaks the silence, my phone lighting up with Uncle Thomas's name, 60 years etched into his quiet loyalty. Faye, they're planning something, his text reads. Henry called a family meeting last week. You weren't invited. They're trying to squeeze more out of you. Linda's crying about foreclosure, but Ryan's smirking like he knows something. Watch your back. My jaw clenches, teeth grinding as I screenshot the message, adding it to my arsenal. Of course they'd conspire. Why change now? The city lights dim beyond the window, as if sensing the storm brewing in my chest. Cold resolve hardens my veins, a steel I didn't know I had. I pull up James's contact, hit the video call button, not caring that it's past 2 a.m. He answers on the second ring, his face serious in the dim light of his home office. Talk to me about the purchase option clause, I say, voice steady, cutting through the night. He adjusts his glasses, papers shuffling off screen. It's ironclad, Faye. If they miss the payment, A&D Holdings LLC assumes full ownership. They signed it themselves, thinking it was bank paperwork. He pauses, studying me. Are you sure you want to do this? I lean back, the weight of tomorrow pressing down. They made their choice, I reply, and the tremor in my chest steadies into something unshakable. Now it's mine. The Grand Horizon ballroom glitters under crystal chandeliers, their light harsh, unyielding, casting a spotlight on my isolation. The annual Dawson family reunion buzzes around me, a swarm of forced smiles and champagne flutes clinking with artificial warmth. I adjust my navy blazer, Burberry, wool, my armor, and try to focus on the gentle chime of crystal, not the knot tightening in my stomach. Aunts, uncles, cousins swirl past, their chatter a dull roar, but I stand apart, a shadow among their glow. 3 days until the mortgage payment. 3 days until their world tilts. Henry's voice rises above the din, carrying that practiced authority he wields like a club. Everyone, if I could have your attention. The room hushes, murmurs fading as he takes center stage, champagne flute raised. At 62, he's every inch the patriarch in his custom Italian suit, a mask of success I've paid for. His eyes find mine across the crowd, cold, calculating, a predator's gaze. It seems some members of our family have forgotten the meaning of loyalty, the value of honesty, he says, each word a dart aimed at me. My own daughter, Faye, has been making decisions behind this family's back, manipulating our finances for her own gain. Gasps ripple through the room, Aunt Catherine's sharp breath, Cousin Marcus's frown, Ryan's poorly concealed smirk from the sidelines. The crystal stem of my glass turns slick in my grip, my pulse thudding against my ribs. Decades of conditioning scream at me to shrink, to apologize, to bear the shame he's piling on. But something sharper rises instead, a clarity cutting through the fog. I don't flinch, don't bow. I turn, slipping through the crowd, their whispers trailing me like smoke. Back in my apartment, the familiar order welcomes me. Clean lines, calculated precision, the face-down family photo I can't yet remove. My laptop hums to life, screen glowing as I sink into my ergonomic chair, the leather cool against my skin. James's name lights up my phone, his voice urgent. I saw Henry's social media post, Faye. This is getting out of hand. I stare at the mortgage deadline glaring in red. 3 days. It was always out of hand, I reply, steadier than I feel. I just didn't want to see it. I'm done being their safety net. The ice in my voice surprises me, a blade honed by years of silence. The Michelin-starred restaurant gleams, a battleground draped in white tablecloths and sterling silver. Henry chose it, his stage for keeping up appearances, and the air hums with quiet wealth. Linda sits beside him, 59, hands clasped tightly in her lap, her face a mask of fragile resignation. Ryan, 31, lounges across from me, radiating smug superiority, the golden sun untouched by consequence. I face them, my laptop a weapon at my side, the perfect family tableau ready to crack. You've gone too far this time, Faye, Henry begins, his voice low, controlled, not carrying to neighboring tables. These stunts of yours, these childish attempts at rebellion. His eyes narrow, daring me to flinch. I don't. My laptop opens with a decisive click, the sound sharp in the hushed space. Let's talk about stunts, Father, I say, letting the title hang like a taunt. Like the fact that every mortgage payment you've made for 7 years has gone directly to my company, a company you never bothered to investigate because you were too busy telling me I was worthless. The color drains from Henry's face, a slow bleed of shock. Linda's water glass trembles in her hand, a faint clink against the table. Ryan sits up straight, his smirk faltering for the first time all night. That's impossible, Henry sputters, his composure fraying. The payments go to A&D Holdings LLC. I lean forward, the words tasting like victory, cold and metallic on my tongue. Exactly. And who do you think A&D stands for? Check your records. Every payment, every document, every transaction. I own it all. Linda's breath hitches, a weak sound swallowed by the silence. Ryan's eyes dart to Henry, seeking rescue, but none comes. 7 years flash before me. Late nights wiring funds, their insults ringing in my ears, my life shrinking to fit their demands. You've been living off me, I continue, voice steady, cutting. While you mocked me, I kept your house, your cars, your precious image, and you never even noticed. Henry's fist tightens on the tablecloth, knuckles white, but I don't stop. The next payment's due in 3 days. What happens when you miss it? You wouldn't dare, he growls, but there's a crack in his certainty, a tremor he can't hide. Ryan shifts, his chair scraping faintly, and Linda whispers, Faye, please, her plea as useless as ever. I close my laptop, the click a gunshot in the tension. I already have, I say, standing, my shadow falling across them. You'll see soon enough. The city lights gleam beyond the restaurant's windows as I walk away, their stunned silence trailing me. My heart pounds, but my steps are sure. The power's mine now, and they're about to learn what that means. Morning light filters through my high-rise office windows, painting Chicago's skyline in a tentative gold. The city glitters below, a restless sea of steel and glass, but my focus narrows to the polished desk before me. The mortgage payment looms, 2 days away. A ticking clock I can almost hear. Emily Parker, 36, bursts through the doorway, tablet in hand, her usual calm tinged with urgency. Faye, you need to see this, she says, sliding into the chair across from me. Her fingers swipe the screen, and my breath catches. Screenshots of financial records, email chains, bank statements sprawl across social media. Someone leaked the documents, all of them. They're everywhere. My screen erupts with notifications, a flood I can't stem. Dawson family secrets trends, a wildfire I didn't ignite but won't extinguish. 7 years of careful documentation slash through platforms, exposing their lies to the world. Emily's voice cuts through the chaos. I've contacted HR and legal. Your position here is secure. We're ready to release a statement if you need it. I nod, pulse steady despite the storm, the city lights blurring into stars of possibility beyond the glass. Controlled energy pulses through me. This is no longer just my fight. My phone buzzes again, James Carter's name glowing, his voice tight when I answer. The story's gone viral, Faye. 3 news outlets want comments. He pauses, and I hear papers rustling, his home office alive even at this hour. That's not all. Henry's claiming the contract's invalid, says he'll challenge it in court. A smirk tugs at my lips as I pull up the purchase agreement on my laptop. The words sharp and clear. Ironclad, James called it. Let him try, I say, my tone cool, unwavering. Get everyone together tonight, we're ending this. The conference room fills hours later, a quiet purpose settling over us as James arrives with the legal team. Papers spread across the polished table like battle plans, each clause a weapon, each signature a shield. James's finger stops on a paragraph buried in the fine print. The purchase option trigger. If they miss this payment, he says, voice low, you don't just own the mortgage, Faye, you own everything. My eyes lock onto the deadline, 2 days ticking down. Once this starts, there's no going back. He warns, studying me through his glasses. I lean back, the city lights gleaming beyond the glass walls, a constellation of my making. I'm ready, I reply, and the words feel like steel, forged in 7 years of silence. The clock on my laptop ticks from 11:59 p.m. to midnight, a silent shift that reverberates through my 32nd floor apartment. The city pulses below, its lights a canvas of late-night energy, but here, time holds its breath. 2 days have bled into hours, then minutes, and now, the deadline. My fingers hover over the keyboard, steady despite the weight pressing against my ribs. The A&D Holdings LLC dashboard glows, a web of numbers and clauses spun over 7 years, each thread a testament to my patience. I click through to the contract section, the purchase option clause highlighted in stark yellow against the white background. One more click to set it all in motion. My phone buzzes, a text from Henry flashing across the screen. Faye, there seems to be an issue with the payment processing. Call me immediately. I leave it unanswered, eyes fixed on the document before me. The clause is simple, elegant. Failure to make payment activates immediate transfer of ownership. Their $3,200 balance mocks them from the bank records, nowhere near the $7,500 due. Years of their contempt. Henry's threats, Ryan's smirks, Linda's pleas, crystallize into this moment, a reckoning I've planned in shadow. My mouse cursor blinks over the execute button, and I press it. The system processes, a brief hum, then confirms. Purchase option activated, transfer of ownership complete. My phone erupts, notifications cascading, Henry's number flashing repeatedly, Linda's texts, Ryan's voicemails. I silence them all, turning to my email where James has already confirmed receipt of the transfer documents. All legal parameters met, his message reads. Proceeding with Phase 2. Through my floor-to-ceiling windows, Chicago's lights blur into possibility, and somewhere out there, in their suburban home, my home now, they're waking to a new reality. Ryan's call breaks through, his voice cracking with the first hints of fear I've ever heard from him. What the hell do you think you're doing, Faye? I stand, walking to the window, my voice emerging cool, controlled. Exactly what I planned. You should check your email. The journalists certainly will. He stammers. You can't, but I cut him off. I already have. Tell Henry and Linda they have 48 hours to vacate my property. The silence stretches, breaks, his breathing ragged. Your property? A&D Holdings LLC? Did you never wonder what the F stood for? I let it sink in. I suppose you were too busy laughing at my failures to notice who really held the mortgage. I end the call, the first news alert popping up. Dawson family facade crumbles, and my hands press against the cool glass, steady as the city hums below. The downtown Chicago courthouse looms before me, its glass facade reflecting the morning sun, a mirror to my resolve. My heels click against marble as I stride through security, laptop bag slung over my shoulder, the weight of 7 years' evidence a satisfying burden. The elevator ascends smoothly, numbers ticking upward, 42nd floor, where they wait. My reflection in the polished doors shows a woman I barely recognize, shoulders back, chin high, no trace of the uncertainty that once defined me. The doors open to a corridor of mahogany and leather, voices drifting from the conference room ahead. Henry's rage carries, barely contained. The purchase option clause is invalid. Find something to nullify it. David Sullivan, 65, his lawyer, replies measuredly. Mr. Dawson, these documents appear properly executed. Your daughter's company... Henry cuts him off. I don't care what that ungrateful bitch did. Fix this. My blood runs cold, then hot, but I don't falter. I push open the door, and Henry's face contorts, red with fury. This is a private meeting, he snaps. I set my laptop on the table, each movement precise. Nothing about this is private anymore, I say, my voice calm, cutting. In fact, it's time we made everything very public. David shifts uncomfortably, sensing the shift, but Henry glares, defiant. Emily's text buzzes through. Ryan's social media campaign is live. He's claiming you embezzled company funds. Perfect timing. I open my laptop, turning the screen toward them. While you've been plotting this sad little legal maneuver, I've been gathering quite a collection. My fingers dance across the keyboard, projecting bank statements onto the wall. 7 years of transactions, each one a nail in their coffin. Emails follow, hundreds preserved, Linda begging for money while calling me selfish, Ryan sneering about my pathetic career as I funded his life, Henry's threats sharp as his signature. As you can see, Your Honor, I say, voice ringing through the hushed courtroom, every transaction was legal, every document executed. What we have here is a systematic pattern of emotional and financial abuse. The judge leans forward, glasses glinting. These records appear quite thorough, Ms. Dawson. Henry lurches to his feet, but David restrains him. Too late. The media cameras roll, capturing his impotent rage. The gavel falls with a resounding crack, and I step to the podium, unfurling the verdict. By order of this court, I read, clear and strong. All claims against A and D Holdings LLC are dismissed. The property transfer shall proceed as specified. Henry storms out, Linda trailing, Ryan lingering just long enough to shoot me a venomous glare before slinking away. In the gallery, faces of other survivors nod. Women who've shared their stories, their presence, a quiet vindication. Later, in my office, I watch the sunset over Chicago, the city lights twinkling below, each one a star in my new constellation. My phone buzzes with support. Journalists, strangers, a few guilty cousins claiming ignorance. The family photo catches my eye, still face down. I leave it there, my victory complete. Early morning sun streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new downtown office, 7 floors above Chicago's awakening streets. The light spills across polished hardwood floors, casting long shadows that dance with possibility. A stack of mortgage documents sits on my desk. Not my family's anymore, but those of women who found their way to me, seeking the freedom I fought for. I pause at the window, watching the city stir below, its gleaming steel and glass stretching out like a promise. It's different from my old 32nd floor view, closer to the ground, more real, less a perch above the world I once hid from. The familiar weight of grandmother's antique watch presses against my wrist as I check the time. My first mentoring session starts in an hour. A young woman, 22, trapped by her stepfather's financial grip, her story echoing mine too closely. My throat tightens, but I breathe through it, steady now. A text from James Carter lights up my phone, his words brisk. Ready for the Women's Financial Empowerment Workshop tonight? I smile, remembering the last session. 20 women, each carrying their own chains, learning to break them link by link. Always ready, I reply, fingers quick on the screen. The elevator dings and Emily Parker steps in, 2 cups of coffee in hand. Her presence a quiet surprise that still catches me off guard. Friendship, it turns out, blooms easily once betrayal stops lurking around every corner. Thought you could use this, she says, setting a cup on my desk, the aroma warm, fresh, not like those cold, forgotten cups from my old life when work was an escape, not a mission. Big day ahead? I nod, inhaling the scent, a small ritual grounding me in this new reality. She pulls up a social media post on her phone, a graduate from our workshop, keys in hand, caption reading, "First home in my name." Thank you, Faye Dawson, for showing me the way. The image blurs as tears prick my eyes, unexpected but sharp. I blink them back, professional mask slipping into place, but the warmth lingers. That's what it's all about, I say, voice soft, steady. 7 floors up, I'm no longer alone. My scars are becoming a map, guiding others out of the dark. The sun dips low as I stand before the old Dawson family home, its brick facade glowing in the fading light. White trim, manicured lawn, it's the same, yet smaller now, less imposing, stripped of its power to wound. Shadows that once reached for me with grasping fingers are just shadows, harmless against the dusk. I trace my fingers along the iron gate, the metal cool under my touch, and Henry's last phone call echoes faintly. You'll never amount to anything. The words ring hollow now, meaningless against the reality I've built from their wreckage. Through the window, I catch a glimpse of the study, once my prison, where I sat night after night, orchestrating their stability while they plotted my downfall. Now, it's just a room, empty of its old weight. The memory fades as I turn away, my steps light on the sidewalk. Dinner waits at a nearby restaurant. James, Emily, Uncle Thomas, our weekly tradition born from the ashes of toxic ties. Real family, chosen family, not bound by blood but by something stronger. A young woman hurries past, phone pressed to her ear, voice trembling. "I'm sorry, Dad. I'll try harder, I promise." I stop, recognition hitting me like a quiet blow. The hunched shoulders, the desperate need to please, a dance I know too well. "Excuse me," I call softly. She turns, startled, eyes wide. I couldn't help overhearing. "If you need someone to talk to." I hand her my business card, watching understanding dawn in her gaze. "Are you really?" She glances at the card, then back at me. "Yes," I say simply, "and I can help." The city lights twinkle as I reach the restaurant. There glow a canvas of possibility. Through the window, I see my chosen family at our usual table, James reviewing documents even now, Emily laughing at Thomas's quip. The sight fills me with a warmth that has nothing to do with obligation, everything to do with choice. I pause, taking it in, the skyline stretching beyond, a new constellation of my own making. Next morning, I stand at my office window as dawn breaks over Lake Michigan, the sun cresting the horizon in a burst of gold and pink. The sky paints itself in colors of rebirth, light catching the windows of 1,000 buildings, each a reflection of stories waiting to be written. My breath fogs the glass faintly, the cool pain steadying me as grandmother's watch ticks against my wrist. A quiet heartbeat tying past to present. 7 floors up, Chicago spreads before me, its pulse syncing with mine. A city of possibility I've claimed as my own. My laptop hums behind me, screen glowing with a social media draft I've been shaping. Have you ever wondered what freedom tastes like? I type, fingers deliberate, weighted with 7 years of breaking free. I hit post, knowing the responses will flood in. Stories of triumph, of liberation, of women finding their own maps through the scars they carry. The sun climbs higher, its light spilling across my desk, illuminating the mortgage files of those I'm helping, the lives I'm touching. I step back, the warmth of dawn seeping into my bones, and whisper to the empty room, "It tastes like this." The first light of morning, the sound of genuine laughter from last night's dinner, the knowledge that my scars, once chains, have become a guide for others. The city wakes below, and somewhere in its maze, another woman gathers courage to break free. I'll be here, ready to help her write her story, just as I've written mine. Victory isn't their destruction, I realize, but this creation of something stronger from the wreckage they left behind. The sun rises fully, painting the sky in shades of hope, and I turn from the window, my reflection steady, serene. I am free, completely, and the world is wide open,